Hey guys, sorry about that. The game decided to crash at the end of the cutscene, but now we're back, and you haven't missed much. Literally, just the next part we're starting on now is the industrial quarter, and we've also sorted out the sound issue as well, thanks to the good idea. We've just pretty much put the volume as max now. So it actually may. So it won't keep doing that sound volume bug, because we tried to look up online to see what the hell, why it keeps doing this after every cutscene or camera shot iteration. I keep saying iteration like that. The camera shot parts, I guess.
Yeah.
The fixated camera shots, where something dramatic's about to happen. Then it, for some reason, decides to pull the sound volume to max, even though the volume that you've set it at is not actually what's being portrayed. So we just decided to turn it down and mix the volume, and it's worked out pretty well so far. We're just going to play this game as is, making sure that the volume is pretty solid now, hopefully. But yeah, we can hear each other now, and if it keeps trying to bug out, well, it can't bug out because it's already at max volume. So we can sort this out. So yeah, let's continue.
I left the relative safety of Sanctuary and ventured once more into the night. The industrial quarter of Meridian was, I discovered, a heavily guarded fortress. Rather than assault it directly, I stole into the workers' commons and began my quest for the Nexus stone there.
I'm not moving, by the way. He's just doing that on his own. The sea bugger? Buggy? Is that? Did he say buggy? Or I don't know.
It looked like it. But I kept on seeing the Zen buggy for some reason, and that's obviously not what it's going to say.
No. So it's an interesting way of saying that.
There's more guards about than ever these days.
I seen 2 of the bastards yesterday and 3 today. Ooh, they make my flesh crawl. They talk, I never heard them. Why so many of them nowadays?
They must be here for our protection.
So we've got a couple of factory workers here talking about why there's so many guards, and
You can
yeah,
believe
this guy
that.
thinks that yeah, it's gonna say, yeah, they're so not here for your protection, mate. But even if they were, they could do nothing for you guys.
Mind your business.
Mind my excuse me.
Don't hurt me.
You might want to keep your bloody mouth shut. See what happens when you mouth off? Get out of my way. Thank you. Yeah, so just referring to what happened with the EA stuff. Oh, I've got to wait for the bloody power to come by. It was just them not wanting to push out anything that they could do to help me kickstart the game or something, because I don't believe in doing Kickstarter or any stuff like that, because I don't feel people should have to use donations in order to get your game off the ground. That should be literally like, you should seek payment other places, in wares of other places, and with the wares and whys and what's.
They don't want to get a loan because they don't want to have to pay anything back if they don't get their project off the ground.
I mean, to be honest,
if you get a loan and your thing falls through,
well, exactly, like
you got a debt.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't even
you
think
can fail, and it doesn't matter. You've stolen people's money.
Exactly, and that's what I feel mostly bad about. I know that
Yeah.
for some projects, Kickstarter has worked out great for them.
Oh yeah. You do get genuine people that are on there, and you get some
projects that have actually been completed and have been released. Okay.
Yeah. But
Have I missed
sometimes things just go wrong, and sometimes it's a scam, and sometimes anything, and it's a bit dodgy.
Oh god. Whoops. Yeah. So
I'm largely indifferent to it, really. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
But in principle, I don't want to use it simply because I would rather, you know, keep the idea, the iteration of my game if it was a, you know, complete game that was, you know, made up from my own concepts really, and still have the right to develop it in any which way I want to, without turning it into a product that, you know, the publisher themselves wanted to release it as, you know. So if let's say I was to make a game now that was completely my idea, and I managed to get Activision or EA or someone like that to give me large funding, but that in turn would mean I'd have to give up a percentage of the game's IP. So they would have a big part in the ownership of it, or maybe most of it, for all I know. And then they're the ones that start making the decision on how they want the game to be incorporated into the market. You know, you don't get to decide the final build for it, and that's what's happened a lot with games that's like Mass Effect and Anthem.
It's a shame you can't just start up your own company, really, isn't it? It's a shame that.
Well, that's how it goes. Like, I would want to. I mean, I don't care much on starting my company, much less wanting to release the games that I've made.
Yeah.
Because no matter if you were to start your company, you would still need to keep then churning out games in order to meet the quota for, you know, keeping yourself afloat. But it's getting the right company to do that with you, and EA and Activision are the worst decisions for that.
They'll make you fail in your game, you'll fuck up, and then they'll just dissolve your company anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll liquidize it, so
and
can't really trust them.
Alright then. I mean, they've destroyed so many companies, and by destroyed I mean they've pretty much just pulled the plug on funding. But because of the contract they were a part of, they weren't allowed to, during that time when they were afloat, they weren't allowed to speak to any other investors or publishers. To get funding or anything. So they owned the IP. They couldn't build the game anymore because EA just pulled the plug of funding, and they ended up crashing out. And it's like a lot of companies, such as Westwood and others I'm not going to name, but there's a lot of ones that, you know, they've all gone now, and you know, everyone knows this story by now. What could I say about EA that hasn't already been said before? Not much. But you know, therein lies the issue, because even if I was to create a game, I don't feel as if it would be churned up in the right way, because it's not always about making money with video games. You've got to give people the respect and nostalgia, because if you're trying to fight, if you're going to go against that, you may as well be trying to go against the internet. Alright? And most people who are gamers or enjoy video games also love to go on the internet, okay? That's kind of like, it's part and parcel now, with a lot of expectations. So a lot of these people who they go onto the internet, they like to use computers, and therefore are quite tech savvy. So they know what their expectations are going to be and how it's going to be approached. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is that these are your audiences for your video games. You've got lots of expectations, and you've also got a lot of things that they wish they had, but they don't. They can't play up to this day and age anymore. And EA and many of these big companies don't seem to realize that. You can't just keep going against your audiences by flooding it with microtransactions and crap that people clearly don't want, because they have a voice, trust me. And more and more people nowadays is getting. There's just some weird
got microtransactions in Crash Team Racing now.
Yeah, so I've heard.
After they promised that they wouldn't put them in.
Well, again, so I've heard. So it pretty much goes without saying a lot of what they really believe and intend to do with their video games. Can't go in birth. Oh, well. I've been wearing these
Can't have-
clothes for a couple of chapters now. I feel like I need.
I was gonna say, because like if a vampire can't touch water without dying, how does he fucking stay clean? I bet he stinks. I bet he
Well-
fucking reeks.
It makes one wonder because they're not technically alive, are they? So, in turn, a
Well-
lot of their body functions don't work, which means I'm guessing their sweat glands aren't alive either, so they probably don't produce any sweat.
Yeah, but dirt still sticks to you though, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but again, you don't smell anything, do you? I mean, does your nostrils work? They smell blood, but they probably don't smell anything else that is
The people around them are gonna smell it though.
pretty much.
You hear that? Hear what? Sounds like farting below, and then a
It depends on
Oh.
the iteration of a vampire.
body
Really.
striking the floor. That's an evil.
They get dirty in The Sims.
Hang on a
We
minute.
do. I always do. Go on like we never heard nothing. I never heard nothing.
I never heard nothing. That's pretty much the smartest way to, live in this place now. Just turn a blind eye to everything, even if you hear thumps like people dying downstairs. This guy gets it.
Call the guards. Stay back.
You just said you were gonna go back and just not do anything, mate. I feel like you should take your own advice. Leave one to tell the tale. So here we have a new enemy. I have no idea what this woman's called, this area, but she's basically armed with a crossbow. And we're just going to chop off her head. She has a lot of health and can be pretty annoying with her attacks because she moves quite fast. But again, these are technically enemies that work with the Sarafan or for the Sarafan order. So, what weapons does she have as well? Oh yeah. Wait, does she have any weapons? I actually don't know.
Nope.
Can't. Don't.
Nope.
I don't think she got anything stealable.
Nope.
Anyway. Oh, there's one. Oh yeah, there it is. Thought I saw that. It would be nice to live in a world where, we can actually play the games we want to in the newest form. But God forbid. Reminds me, when was the last time I saved this? Oh god, not since then. 7% in the industrial quarter.
Industrial water.
Were you followed? Huh? These humans never look twice in my direction. Little do they realize their future lord walks among them. Now, tell me of this place.
Uma tells me the Nexus stone will be found in the main factory beyond the dam. There will be a gondola to take you there. If this is deactivated, you must look below for the glyph to repower it. But be careful of the guards.
Have you any further wisdom to dispense?
I sense the presence of another vampire close by. He may be watching you. I will whisper you again when it is needful.
Once again, I began to feel the obligations of power. To deal justice fairly to all. One day my people would know me again for their lord. But the vampires who were traitors to their kind would know me first of all.
Seems to be the case.
He's a bit pissy, isn't he, Mr. Kane? I like that area though.
Oof. Glad she missed then. Yeah, that's her sort of unblockable attack. And just chop your head off. I don't need to do much. Yeah, that's what's good about this weapon, is it just an insta-kill thing. If you manage to grab them. It has the weirdest, most suggestive armor designs on these enemies as well. No idea why.
Well,
Obviously
if they're
fan service.
If they're wearing too many clothes, they wouldn't be able to be as nimble.
Yeah, but really,
That's obviously
is
not
that really
true.
what you think?
No,
Okay.
obviously not.
Is that,
Just a
come on.
pervert, really, come on.
Yeah,
Duh.
definite fan service, especially when it comes to sort of Renaissance, Tudor, or any sort of type of fantasy game, really. I mean, the only ones that didn't do that were The Witcher.
You can
Or at least the
put
third
sex
Witcher.
build anything,
The third-
really.
Maybe the third Witcher, I don't know. God, wouldn't that be a brilliant game to LP?
Fucking hell, it wouldn't end.
I have not got the strength to do that game as an LP. Not now, anyway. Definitely not.
Christ, no.
Would be really nice, but that for that
Somebody's
day
already
it's
done
not.
it.
Yeah, well, lots of people have already done it. I wouldn't mind doing it because I know that I could do it with mods. You see, specific texture mods. But that time is not now. That's definitely for another time. A much more time.
That game takes the energy out, yeah. I gotta
It's
say.
definitely for a better time in the future.
Especially since when I played them all back to back.
Yeah, you did. You actually managed to get through all of them. I remember you telling me.
Yeah, it took me
Which
a
is
couple
pretty cool.
months, but yeah, from one to the next, no gaps, just consistently played all of them, and their DLCs as well.
Wow. And not even I've played all the DLCs, to be honest, yet. I still yet to play Witcher 3's DLCs, even though I've bought them both. I still haven't played them.
They're quite nice, really.
So I've
More of
heard.
the same,
In
but
fact,
they're quite nice.
they're really long, aren't they?
Oh, they're quite lengthy. I forgot.
People telling me, they said that actually, ooh, this is an interesting one. People have said that the developers have said that the games are meant to be like 10 or 11 hours long. And you see people in the Steam comment section again, which make me laugh. They say, they gave it a thumbs up and said, they told me this game was going to be 10, 11 hours for this DLC, and they lied. It's 23 hours.
Yeah, it's long.
10 out of 10. I would definitely be lied to again.
Yeah. The one DLC that's good. I can't remember any of the names of the DLC, but the one set in like the fairy tale land
Blood
is
and
really
Wine.
cool. Yeah, that's it. That one's nice.
I haven't played that yet. Don't tell me. I'm sorry, but I am one of these people who, for the Witcher's case, I respect so much. I don't even want people to tell me the spoilers for that. I really don't. Because that game, that game is all about spoilers. Okay, you can't.
I think you might enjoy it. It's a bit. It's,
well, I enjoyed the Witcher series.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
What are you doing?
Even though it's set in King Arthur Lakeland.
King Arthur. You could have just said the Dark Age, as they call it.
Well, yeah. It's nice.
Nice is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to drink one so I can get my.
The ending's quite cool. I won't say what about it is, but it's nice.
Yeah.
A nice ending.
That's one thing I don't really want to accommodate on the LPs that I do. Any spoilers towards anything that well, not just myself, but for anyone who hasn't played the games as well.
Yeah.
These are old games, and the story is so sort of cliche and lackluster. You pretty much see where it's going. Essentially.
Yeah.
But I don't tend to want to name drop.
I gotta say though, I do like the look of this area.
It's definitely industrial. Oh, for God's sake.
I have a bit of an industrial fetish, really. I love industrial areas.
Whether
it's Victorian, whether it's like a Victorian, like this sort of industrial, or whether it's like a modern, dirty industrial, or whether it's a clean, high-tech industrial, or whether it's a post-apocalyptic industrial. I just love industrial. I love it. I love that setting.
How many times have you said that name now?
I know, it's just factories and foundries and pipes and steam and smoke and fire. I love it.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, if you take a look at what your general theme is, your imagery, you're sort of like a gentleman meets sort of black metal type thing, because you love your spikes. Because you like your top hats, you like your frocks, but you also like big leathery boots and stuff like that.
Sort of merge them together. Yeah.
And this is why I thought picking you with this Let's Play would be a good idea, because I thought I know for a fact there's going to be a lot of things in this game that you would like, you would appreciate.
Yeah.
And it spurs a lot of ideas and interest, really.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, you can't have an original idea without having a conceptual thought of a game that you played already.
Yeah, you're always going to borrow from something in some manner.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, and it's awful. Yeah. But even then, it's like that type of music. I don't think you'll go that far as to say you like that music.
Fucking hell no. Military band music is not my thing.
I actually don't think I can. Okay, well I can't sneak up on this guy. Oh crap! Crap! Crap!
Ah, you can take.
Don't come outside. Oh,
He's
for
just a
God's
golden
sake.
axe.
Oh crap!
Can happen.
Well, you know what? Didn't know where that guy came from, but yeah. Better yet, take them both on. Thankfully, they can't find me. Could you turn the other way, please? Alright, just go that way. Nope. I keep pressing the button. Yeah, that's kind of what... Oh, have I been spotted?
But the other guy's still hanging around somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
Boom.
On the other end of the corridor.
Again, they have an unblockable attack as well. But they have scimitars, which again work the same way as, you know, normal swords. They do the same damage, and not really much else to say about them, really. But I have a lot of law and a lot of health, though, which is good. But like as I said, I mean, you know how... Again, this is what means to me as wanting to be a game designer. I mean, I've got a friggin' master's in it, and more to the point, why I think a lot of companies really need to take it seriously when they release their game for the first time, even if it's a complete original idea. You are on borrowed time. They don't realise, but they're on borrowed time with their idea, because it's the same situation of what happened with PUBG. They thought they had an original idea that could have been copyrighted, but they took their idea from movies that had battle royale modes in and everything. So, having said that, Epic came out with their own battle royale game, and it was a free-to-play. PUBG knew this was going to affect their sales, so they tried to sue them. They didn't get successful in it because I don't really know what the actual reasons were, but
You can't really copyright a genre, though.
no, you can't. Exactly, that's my point. You have this idea to incorporate it in a video game, but the idea of battle royale was never yours. You can't copyright it, even if it is within a game.
Even if you did invent the first of that genre, every game at one point, well, every genre at one point had only one game within that genre. And if that genre was copyrighted, video games wouldn't exist, because how could anyone build on that?
Well, exactly.
You can't copyright a genre. If you could create an entirely new genre today, and you can't copyright it, all you can do is copyright the setting, the story, the characters, and the IP behind it. But the actual gameplay type, you can't. People are allowed to make their own.
I totally agree. That's exactly what it is, and these companies, they don't realise this.
Yeah.
Because no matter how much they think they've got an idea and it'll make them a lot of money, and yes, for the most part, PUBG made a lot of money, and it valued their company quite highly, as far as I remember. They were in the billions, and what they should have done was sell it. Just, you know, really sell it to Microsoft. They could carry it on from there, just like they did with Minecraft.
I'm surprised Minecraft.
And
Minecraft would be dead if it didn't get the life from
the guy who
Microsoft.
created Minecraft, the
Notch.
Swedish guy. Notch, that's it, yeah, Notch.
I've forgotten his actual name. He's Marcus, I think.
But, you know, if he wants to go by Notch, fine. He did a really smart idea. Sold it for, what was it now, 200 million? Or
somewhat ridiculous.
It was good. It was good money. And he retired effectively. But he knew that the concept of these games, I'm pretty sure, I mean, maybe he knew, he didn't know, but he probably knew that the iteration of his game was, although it was very popular, it was still in early stages.
Yeah, lots of people were playing it in alpha.
Yeah.
Like even pre-alpha.
Exactly. And that's what they don't get. Like, you have an original idea that no matter how much you want to keep this idea, you can't. Okay? Other games can incorporate. The only thing original about PUBG, if we were to go back on it now, would be the fact that you're put on an island, and the way you travel to the island is by plane. and then you have to scavenge for your weapons. That's the only original idea that the game kind or sort of incorporated in these.
Yeah, the rest is just shooting, shooting
It's
and
a
hiding.
third-person shooter.
Yeah,
It's a
and that's
third-person
been-
shooter,
That's been around.
and it's
since the fucking
the
Dark
game.
Ages.
The game concept is last man standing.
Yeah, and
So
that's essentially a deathmatch.
Exactly. It's
That's been around since fucking first-person shooters, third-person
Exactly.
shooters anyway. So you know,
It's not worth it. I mean, that's what they should have realized. And at the end of the at the end of the day, because now there's so many different, game versions. They're like every game is now trying to incorporate it.
our APB's got its own battle royale mode now.
Oh, well there you go.
Oh,
There's so
my
many different
God.
iterations of it now, but just being done in the same sort of fashion, but in their own video game sense. It's
All
just
that 76
like
as well.
that's it. Now you've literally just the market is saturated. They assume that people want to play all this stuff, and what you should have done was just bat out of the ring and sell your company and just be like, all right, I'm gonna leave someone else to do it, and then start a new project. That's what you should have
Yeah.
done. I don't like the idea of my company or my game being sold off. And I forgot what I was doing down here now, or what I need to do. Yeah, I don't like the idea of a game sort of being sold off, to a company just to let them do what they want with it, and then you make money out of it. But if it's a company, rather, if it's a video game that you know is going to be on borrowed time, because naively, I don't know, the creators of PUBG, what's his name, or what were the company's name? Blue Horse Studios or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was naive for them to think that they could keep this idea. Okay, they really shouldn't
Yeah.
have thought that, because you don't have that right. No one ever has that right, and you trying to sue Epic Games to try and keep this as an IP. That shows to me you actually already knew it was on borrowed time, but you still wanted to churn out any sort of idea that the game had. And then that just shows to me that you're a bit of a greedy company, and you should have known better. Sell the company off, because other companies will take advantage of your idea and incorporate it in their own game.
Yeah.
And these big corporations, more corporations than gaming companies, they will do it.
Yeah, they will.
What was that?
I actually... Alright, so what does this machine do? Okay, yeah, so I think it creates glyph boxes. And I had to go through all this whole stupid puzzle of switching on these. So again, this is why I'm trying to have a conversation, just to weed out all of the crap that goes on. So what it's doing now, it's going to go through... It's going to go through this entrance here, which you can see we need to go through as well. Keep it open, and then it drops down there, which I don't... Oh, well, actually, I think that's a bottomless pit, so you
That
might not
looks
wanna...
like the void, yeah. So I wouldn't go in there.
But this sort of stuff interests me. This is kind of why I keep my... my eyes open and what... Oh, cutscene. Got a lot of meat vendors. Wouldn't that be like cross-contamination?
Well, I guess in such a hostile world you can't have farmlands. I don't know.
Oh, this part's funny.
Ever seen anything like that?
Don't touch it! I heard it's magical and dangerous.
Oh, they say that about everything. The workers move them all the day. Come on, won't do any harm to...
Yeah, it wouldn't do any harm, just... Boom! And there you have it.
Fix the switch like it is. Well,
I didn't know what that guy was doing running around outside, but... That was a bit weird.
bit of an industrial accident that.
Yeah,
If anyone's going to get compensation.
we're not gonna... It's not gonna be like Chernobyl levels of, crap. It's gonna be Chernobyl levels of oh shit.
Devastation.
Yeah.
I'll just finish that off.
Sorry, I was just trying to having a conversation whilst. Oh crap! Am I still alive? Yeah. Oh fuck! Little shit! No way! Why am I back here? Oh, that's horseshit. Wow, that checkpoint system is brutal. Oh no.
It's only a dumb puzzle.
Freaking ages. And I've lost my weapon. Fuck! Alright. Well, I need to do the next best thing now, which is to,
Power through.
nope. Throw them off.
Oh, you can throw them off. That works.
Barely made a splash then, but alright. Oi.
Worker down
At
there.
least that
doesn't care.
helps. Damn it. That's the good weapon then. Alright. Gotta do this.
Ah, you'll be fine.
I didn't think those guys could actually come towards me then. I didn't know how they got out the warehouse. Because, you know, most MPs back in these days they didn't know the concept of jumping.
Yeah, the game just sort of spawned spawned loads of them as soon as the bomb went off.
Yeah.
Because they weren't there before.
You know, it's just going back to the iteration part and all these ideas that you can have. It's like you've got to make sure you have your game churned out as best as possible that people want to continue playing your game. PUBG wasn't complete, okay? It was still being released as a beta, but still, like, people were paying like a large amount of money for it. And it definitely wasn't worth its price for some reason, given that what I thought they were still building on top of the game, you know, and there wasn't much to it already. So you charged £30 a copy. It wasn't technically finished. I don't know if it was still in, you know, closed beta or whatever. But it's like, you know, the game is still being developed on, and it's not finished. So in actuality, you've got an unfinished project, but your idea is out there now for the public and the other game developers to see. And whilst you're still trying to make your game look and play better, you're already on borrowed time because all these other companies are going to do the same thing. But what they thought was, no one's going to do it. No one else is going to do it. Wrong. I didn't know you could push it then. Okay. Move it. Let's try that again. Alright, let's watch this dumb cutscene again. I can't remember if there's any fog in these areas before. I need to try and find some. Yeah, I think those are the only enemies that even if you're trying to hit them in a combo, they can actually sneak a hit in before you manage to finish it in midway. So
Sneaky.
May as well try out their scimitars to see what kind of weapon they have. What kind of weapon it is. Just an animation.
Don't touch it! I heard it's magical and dangerous.
Yeah, it's all about
I
everything.
say that about everything. The workers move
They kind of
all
look like
day.
NPCs from, I don't know, Africa or something, like the way their armor is. I don't know, it just reminds me of Gladiator. Got a
They reminded me of Golden Axe, mentioned earlier.
Oh, alright, okay.
They just reminded me of it.
I'm at full health this time. I don't know if I wasn't at the other earliest convenience, but maybe because I was shut up and obviously paid the price for it.
Teach you a lesson around here.
Yeah, I need a fast weapon for these guys. You can't afford to Yeah. I would even think of... Okay. Oh. It didn't seem like he got tired then. No. What are you doing? Don't change... Oh. Stop changing targets. This is what's kind of annoying. Alright. Oh. No, you don't.
Let's go through it.
And that's what's annoying as well. It looks like their power attacks, after they've done them, they don't... Wow, we just done one straight after the other one. It's weird how this game is sort of... Oh, crap. Oh. Yeah, you have to keep locked on them. You have to keep them locked on, sorry, rather. Because... The issue is that if you try and deviate from like another target or something and you're not within striking distance of them, they don't play the animation of them being tired after they've done a large, you know, one of their heavy attacks, like the yellow or the red ones. And therefore they will continuously attack you without you trying to get a hit on them. And it's even worse when it's more than one. But, okay, there was a third one, I think.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was. There was two guys speaking over there. They were obviously in front of the mine. I drank one of them. I killed two of them, and I just got burned. So where's the one that pressed the lever or something? I thought there was 4 bodies of them.
Didn't he die?
Well, yes, but in what sense?
I thought the bomb killed them.
I guess, yeah, it killed him. But there was 2 of them. I only found 1 body. Was he like completely blown to bits or something?
Maybe.
Right. Okay, so... What am I doing? What am I thinking? Oh, is that where I need to go? Okay.
Looks like it. There's a checkpoint over there.
Sure as hell I'm saving this time. How far along am I? 25%. Good. That's good. Goody gun jumps. This is what he calls a gondola, apparently.
It's a fucking monorail.
I know.
They've got those weird upside down monorails in places in Europe.
I know. I've seen
They
them.
look quite cool.
They look fancy, but
They do.
they seem a bit too. Well, I think the word is that you can definitely tell it's a pretty penny to get them sort of things running.
I think
They have these things in Japan as well, actually.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. But yeah, I think we need some things like that in our cities. Some sort of elevated rail would just
An elevated
help
transit system.
yeah, it would just help congestion and then everything. Because our country has this obsession with cars. They want to get rid of cars. They hate drivers. And I'm thinking, what better way to get rid of drivers?
Shit. I'm kind of really dangerously
Almost
on the
off
edge.
the edge there.
Yeah, that's the problem when you grab them. And if you actually manage to grab them, you'll take another step forward and just like it
James, you're scaring me.
plays the animation too dangerously. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this. I just feel like I am.
Anyway, as I was saying,
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, it's like our country has like hatred for drivers, and even though you're never going to get rid of drivers, you need people driving. It's just convenient because if you got shit to carry, you need a car. Anyway, one way to reduce cars on the road for people that don't need a car is not fucking bicycles and bullshit like that. It's trains. We don't build subways in Birmingham. We have like no fucking underground rail network at all. And the only rails we do have are lines that go in and out of the city. It's not really for going around the city. It may be at a couple destinations, but not, not in general. And I think that's what we need. Just some sort of like monorail that goes around the centre of town, and some sort of elevated track which can connect all the boroughs up together and all the high streets. We really need that.
Yeah, see,
But it won't happen. I know it won't happen.
Well, the thing is, I know it sounds sad, but I've actually looked at a few documentaries now about trains on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm a little bit fascinated about how the sort of, the train industry works and everything.
Yeah.
And before I finish this sentence, I will be right back. Bear with me. Sorry, I'm back. Sorry, you were saying. I was saying something about transit systems and how I was sort of watching them, and apparently, according to a few people who they've done a video on it, and some experts, they claim that Britain's rail system is one of the worst, really, as the industry, because you get all these contractors who own these rail systems like Virgin and I don't know, other ones.
Yeah, there's Virgin, there's... I can't remember, there's
London Midlands,
Rail.
there's London Rail,
That's it.
there's those, those ones in Moore Street. Oh, come on, I was blocking that. You can block the yellow ones.
Yeah, there's the one that runs the buses as well. I forgot what it's fucking called now. Shit, I've forgotten what the national transit system is. Fuck.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, the point is that each one of these are run by contractors, and these contractors during the 90s, apparently, like, they were, well, it's not even, it was even before then. It was like during the recession when all of this stuff happened.
National Express, that's it. Anyway, carry
National
on.
Express. Yeah.
Carry on.
And all this stuff happened where they were trying to build the best trains and try and incorporate it with the railing system that we have. But because of it, we've now got like a really dated transit system, like really old rails. Alright? And we're only now trying to play catch up by building a new rail that will go from Birmingham to London. That's the next step of what's going on. Of high speed, yeah, of high speed rail. We don't know if it's going to be a bullet train or not. Probably not. Because they cost a shit ton of money, and that actually almost. I remember the Japanese government almost went bankrupt in trying to iterate their new design of the bullet train.
Yeah.
Because it cost them billions.
I don't think we're gonna get a bullet train
Multiple
because they said like the train line's only gonna cost like, what was it, like 50 billion, and then the
Something
price
like
went
that.
up and up and up. They're not gonna afford it.
It keeps going up because they know it. Like even if they built the next best thing for the train system, they've got to deal with.
I think they're gonna go bankrupt before they even finish it. It's not
they
gonna
know
happen.
better. They won't build anything, mate.
It's
because
too
they're
little,
just
too late. It's a useless proposition.
I agree. There's no point.
Only to shave half an hour off the journey.
It's the same situation why England has become a butt of the joke. It is rated as one of the worst areas of the places in the world that has the transit system completely failed.
We've got shit trains.
It's late all the
we do
time.
have shit trains.
I mean, some of it's comfortable, I guess. It depends on how you see it, but has way too many stops. Way too many stops.
I know, yeah. We've got we might have a bad train system, but at least it's regular. The Americans complain about their train system being like really bad because there are just no fucking trains. It's all freight trains.
So I've heard, actually. Yeah,
I think Amtrak is the passenger train, and there's just no fucking passenger trains. You have to book days in advance, and you can't
really?
just. If we wanted to go to London right now, chances are we could book a ticket, and or not even book a ticket, just go to the station, get
just
the
go
ticket.
to the station.
We'll
you
be
can get the ticket.
We'll be there in the afternoon. It will take several hours, but we will be there in the day. But in America, you can't just do that. If you want to go from New York to Miami, you've got to wait a specific day. You can't just go on the day. There is no passenger trains.
Why is there combat music? There's no one
Maybe
here.
there's a guy down there. So can't see.
Oh well. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not regular at all.
I mean, we have, if anything, our system to go into London is too regular. We have two major train stations in Birmingham, and they both go to a certain point in London.
Yeah.
They both do the same thing, but they're just different areas in London, even though the areas themselves are actually within 1 or 2 train stations away underground, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get there.
Do you know what's funny about getting to London? When you lived down there and when Max lived down there, even though you two lived in like different areas, I could by and large get generally the same train line down there. Not exactly the same train line, but I had to go to Moore Street to get to Max, and I had to get to start from New Street to get to you. But my end destination was always Marylebone was one of them, and Euston was another one. But what was funny about that is when I got there, I ended up on the same subway system, like the same lines, to get to either your place. But you know, because one of you lived closer to one station and Max lived close to another one. So it was all
I've
really
lived in several places, mate. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, you have done. But every time I went down there, I was always going on a different route, but all a very similar close route. And I sort of began to realise. I sort of started thinking,
the pattern.
Why am I going to this? Why am I arriving into London on this train station when I see Max? And why am I arriving into this train station when I see Joe? I end up on the same brown line anyway. So why don't I just go to the same fucking train station?
It's the Bakerloo line, mate.
Yeah, Bakerloo. I'm not going to remember that. I'm not going to remember that.
No, but you'll remember the colour.
I remember the colour, yeah. But that's,
the brown line.
The brown. But that's just. Oh, you can tell I'm not from London. But that's my point. I figured out that why am I bothering with these two different journeys? It's just confusing me.
That's such a touristy
take the one
thing.
journey.
That's such a touristy thing to say. Like, I know people who are not sure about the track. Oh my god, would you get lost? Oh god damn it. Yeah, I could just deal with you guys right now.
London's one of those funny things where whenever I get there, I can always make my way around it, generally. But if you asked me where something is or how to get somewhere, I tell you I don't fucking know. Even though I probably could get there with you, I just can't remember names very well until it's right there in front of me.
Okay. Those guys suck. No, I still want that.
It's like when I was in New York, I had to basically guide Mum around the fucking subways. She couldn't read them for shit. I was like, no, we just go over here.
No, she's not going to do well in Japan then.
Oh god, no, dude, she barely tolerated London and she fucking lived there. She's not good at subways, underground trains, at all. I love them personally because they're easy to read, but she just couldn't hack them.
Yeah, kind of goes weirdly without saying sometimes, but
yeah.
It's funny because you, like, it just made it sound like a very touristy thing when you said the brown line, because it's even for people that completely illustrates my point about, you know, if you've never been to the central part, like the main city of a country.
Yeah.
You won't understand what exactly the difference is between that and the other cities, really. Even though.
Yeah.
So this is a cool weapon we got now. It's like a sort of double-edged sword that retracts. It's kind of like a predator thing, really. That the transit systems. We don't have an underground system basically in Birmingham because it's too small. You don't need one.
We don't.
You may as well be saying, like, incorporate the monorail system in Springfield, even though it's dead small and they didn't need one.
The thing is though, we've got a weird city, Birmingham.
God, that scared me.
It's a subway system won't really work well. There'd only be about like 3 stops on it, but we do need something to help us get around more because the buses are shit and the trams, or the shit. So we need something. We need something else. We need some sort of elevated train that just goes around, that connects all of, basically what I'm thinking is like a little loop line that goes around the centre of town. It shouldn't be too difficult because town is really small. And then it has like little arms that spread off, goes down all the high streets and around all the suburbs. That would be ideal. Should be generally straightforward. And then maybe like an outer ring around the outskirts of Birmingham as well, so it all connects to the outer areas around. So you don't have to go into the centre every time to get to the side.
You kind of got this all figured out, haven't you?
Well, it would be nice.
But then, like in theory, it would be nice, but in
Practicality,
it
won't work
it's just
because our city's not
it is
engineered for it.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm going back to the whole situation with the contractors. They don't want to pay all this money. There is no one who's willing to pay all this money because they would have to revamp the train lines themselves.
You have to change
incorporate the new system for their trains.
Yeah.
And that would, no one wants to do that.
It's infrastructure, and that's difficult to change.
That's why we're behind of
Yes,
our
what
infrastructure
behind?
for our
Yeah,
trains industry.
That's the thing. We've all had all these ideas too little, too late, or because we couldn't afford them when we had them initially. So as time progresses, the town's just not able to keep up. And it's a really ironic town is Birmingham, because we used to have trams, as virtually every city in the world did, and we got rid of our trams for so long. We just got rid of our trams, and now we're only putting them back. But we're not putting them back citywide. They're only in town, so they serve next to no fucking purpose.
I remember riding on a tram, one of the earlier trams back when I was little. It went from Birmingham to Wolverhampton. I think there was one that they had that there. Yeah, but again, it was very old.
Yeah.
Would you just die, Jesus?
I just think bringing back the trams, they should never have got rid of them in the first place.
It's
Because
weird
the
why
tram
they
line
need
was
one
more-
now. Again,
the
you
tram
can
line-
walk.
Yeah.
It's the
tram line
distances
was-
don't, justify it.
From what I understand, from what I'm told, is that the tram lines were more expansive than what they are now. They went to more areas of Birmingham. It wasn't just in town.
Mhm.
But now that our city is only cares about the city centre, the council only cares about the city centre. So they've put the trams down,
That's it.
but only in the city centre, so they don't fucking work. For people outside the city centre who maybe need to get in there for work, or people who live in the city centre who maybe work in the suburbs, they've got to get a car or a bus, which is just a chore to do. If the trams extended outward to all the other boroughs of the city, like apparently they used to, it would be better, not perfect, but better, and maybe one day they will. I don't know, but so far now they're not. They're just in town, and it took them forever to rebuild that fucking tram line. I remember Birmingham was a construction zone for ages, and it still is a construction zone because they keep revamping everything, don't they, needlessly.
Well, Birmingham has lived up to its name, isn't it? It's the industrial quarter of England, essentially. I think that's why you probably appreciate this area a lot more, because that's what Birmingham was.
Yeah,
has been for the last 100 years.
Yeah, that's. I think that's it.
When was Birmingham? That's
when
what I
was
want to know.
Birmingham?
Yeah, because if you think about it, it wasn't always. I don't know why this guy's not glowing, by the way, but it wasn't always named Birmingham. I think it was one of the last cities to be called Birmingham, wasn't it?
I don't know. I have to look that up.
I mean, you had cities like Manchester and Birmingham and everything like that, but like, how far back are we going to acknowledge that they were?
The 17th century, apparently. 7th century, sorry.
The 7th?
Apparently.
No way. As in before the first millennium?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look.
That can't be right. I mean, I've never heard of Birmingham actually being incorporated as a city. Really? I mean, I know it existed, the area existed, but it was never called Birmingham. I know it was around, I know the name was around before the colonization of America, but I don't know how far back, really. That's just the only thing that confuses me. Let's,
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. The city's name comes from the Old English Beorming Aham, meaning home or settlement of the Beormingers, indicating that Birmingham was established in the 6th or early 7th century as the primary settlement of Anglian tribal grouping region of the name.
Bjormingen. It sounds a lot more cooler than Birmingham.
Well,
Sounds almost Scandinavian the way they say it. Is it? How is it spelled?
I'm not
B-Y?
surprised. No, it's B-E-O-R Ming and then Aham with a little
Boeing.
accent on the A.
Isn't it Boeing or?
Do you know what?
I don't-
I'll just copy paste it.
No, don't. I mean, yeah, just see what someone would say and how to pronounce it. Either way, it's not. We're not the experts. We're just people who happen to live here.
Yeah, we just live
Don't
here.
ask for us. 'Cause, you know, I've lived here most of my life, or at least, actually, no, I can't. I can say that now. I haven't. Oops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
been
I actually
around,
didn't realise what I was
haven't you?
doing there. But yeah, corner.
I mean, I've lived here all my life.
Yes, you've lived here all your life.
What,
I think
you?
I've spent more time in London than I have in Birmingham now. And this definitely isn't going to be the place I will end up living for the rest of my life.
So you
Because I do
say?
plan to go back to Norway at some point and live out the rest of my days there. Whoa. What happened then? Well, something flashed, but don't know what. Was I meant to do something? Or I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they've only started now building a new train system, like a proper train line. Not just a train, but a train line that goes from Birmingham to London. They've only now started to sort of catch up. But we're not going to see this train line for another 20 years until it's finished.
Problem is,
Because let's
Yeah.
face it, how long it would take them to actually build a train line, I don't know. But we're talking about Birmingham to London, which is, by car, at least 2 hours journey. So you can imagine how far they've got to do it with putting one bit, bits and pieces of track,
yeah.
and then fitting it all together.
You're not going to use the navies to fucking build that, are you?
We've gone through a cave system now, apparently, on the industrial quarter.
No, it's going to be difficult because like the planned route, because I don't really, because I'm not like I don't plan infrastructure. I don't really know what goes through people's minds exactly. But when they drew out the line, they drew the line that where there's lots of things already built. So they're going to have to knock down a lot of homes and businesses to build the line because there's stuff in the way. And I can understand that to a degree,
Cool.
but that's nice. I can understand that to like a
steampunk style digger. I guess that's what they had.
excavator.
Excavator. I
Yeah,
don't believe
but-
that's real, but you know.
But yeah, because it's one of those things where like you have to knock down like a lot of businesses and houses to build it, and yeah, people aren't happy about that. Because if the high-speed rail goes into the centre of town, there's a huge chunk of centre of town that you're going to have to build the rail around. But you can't really build around, can you? Because there's no room, so you have to demolish, and that's not really feasible, is it?
Well, you're basically having to go back steps by taking down something that's in the way.
Yeah, exactly. So what how do you decide what gets knocked down and what doesn't?
Ah,
It-
the vampire that we saw earlier.
Sire, a body. We
That's
found a
right.
body, sire.
It won't be the last. He is here. I sense the taint of his overblown arrogance. Double the guards in the power chamber. He must not be allowed to approach the Nexus stone.
Who is it, sire?
An old friend who will learn his place in the world at last. If you see or hear anything out of the ordinary, report to me at once.
That's probably the smartest way to do it. He knows how powerful Kane is, so instead of taking him on, he says, "No, don't fight him. Just report to me."
Yeah.
And his voice still sounds really jittery. I hate that. You can tell it when he's like talking. It's just. We've got a couple of people here.
A broken switch there.
Right, let's open this. Anyway, you were saying, sorry, about the.
Yeah, because I know demolition is part and parcel of development. Obviously, I mean it happens, but it's just like when it's something as long and as extensive as like a train line. It's not just knocking one old building to replace another one. You're basically laying waste to like a fucking trail, and it's just like, how are you going to do that? And Birmingham, it's depressing whenever anything new comes up in Birmingham. It always depresses me because instead of knocking down something shit, they always knock down something fucking nice, and it just annoys me.
Well, Birmingham's Birmingham for me. I don't really.
Somebody help me, please!
Actually, you could do that. Can't believe
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, for me, Birmingham's Birmingham. It's never really looked like a place that I could have appreciated what it was.
Well, in my lifetime, they'd already knocked down half all the historical buildings. It's really sad. I mean, I know you can't keep every building forever, but sometimes it does seem pointless when a building is perfectly serviceable and you're only doing it just because of style. It's incredibly superficial. And then it's probably superficial of me to want to keep the old buildings, but it's a bit of history, and I just think they're more visually pleasing because there's more fucking detail on what people used to build. I don't like all these glass structures and these concrete grey blocks they built in the 60s. They're just nasty to look at. It's depressing. There's no stimulation in the visuals at all. And you know, the old buildings, they had colour, they had flair to them, and they were nice and ornate, and I loved that. But
You can tell where your loyalties lie towards what a city and a town should look like.
Architecture is, I just like older buildings, preferably to the newer stuff.
Shit. That's his
Although-
fucking power attack. Alright,
Although having said that, I do like New York's skyline, which is a mix of modern and old. But that's because the modern hasn't replaced all of the old, because there's so many buildings there. They haven't replaced everything. There's no danger of that, and they're mixed together quite well. But in where we live, they're just knocking down too many nice buildings. I don't like it.
Thor doesn't like it.
I don't like it.
But yeah, that's the problem we're getting at now. I mean, there is a shell of its former self.
It is, really
with
is.
Some buildings still being stuck around Birmingham.
Yeah. There's always going to be some, but like, most of it's just boring. And then what I find funny, what I find really funny, is sometimes they knock down like these like really nice ornate buildings, and they replace them with something that tries to mimic the nice ornate buildings. I'm thinking, what is the fucking point? Just leave what was there already there.
Trying to reinvent the wheel, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like an old looking building in a modern style, and it looks like dog shit. Just keep the old style, for fuck's sake.
Don't know why I'm going on a killing spree right now, but again, I am so sorry.
You're a vampire. It kind of
goes, hand in hand.
It kind of goes with it. It's nobody expects a vampire to do anything else, really.
Pause then, guys. Sorry, my bladder waits for no man. Yeah, I mean that pretty much goes without saying that everything now is. Yeah, I'm definitely going back to this weapon now. Sod that. I mean, it looks nice and it's cool, but you know, it doesn't do the damage I need.
It's an odd thing. It's like I do like some modern architecture. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's quite nice, but I don't like it on its own. I like it mixed in with the old stuff. I don't want all the old stuff to be replaced.
I'm guessing I have to take over this guy. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, okay. So yeah, I had to redo that. Yeah, he can't use it.
Can he not use it? He can't use it. He's not the chosen one.
He's not.
He's not Mr. Special Fancy Pants.
Okay.
I was running around confused. How the fuck did I get here?
Yeah. It's like he was sleepwalking. Oh crap.
Yeah, I bet that's what they were thinking. It's like a dream state. They don't realise they're being controlled, but they're not aware that they're doing anything. It's like, I blacked out for a second. What's going on?
Oh god, he's going to turn. Oh look. I'm fine with him so far. Just stand still and everything will be fine. I mean, we got onto the topic of transit systems before.
Yeah, we did.
This is literally how it's going on now. But that's how our mind works. We literally deviate from the main point. And anyway, it's just the direction it's heading in. I feel like the prioritization in this country. I mean, God knows what's going to happen because, again, a lot of contracts, the contractors for the transit systems are in the they're in the EU. Because now we've recently decided to leave the EU.
I think the high speed was their idea, wasn't it?
Probably. I mean, I know they have one in France.
Yeah. I think if
But-
we do leave, that's an if, because
Ugh.
I think there's a
it's
possibility
just,
that we won't.
it's like it's become a drama
It-
episode now,
it'll
like
probably-
on season 8 of, Brexit.
Yeah, will they, won't they? Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, it's one of those things where I think if we do leave, it'll probably get canned. But if we stay in, it's still going to get canned. I just can't see it ever being finished, ever. I just don't see it.
What my problem is where Johnson's prioritization is now, given that he's what's he done now? He's stipulated that he wants to legitimize all the illegal immigrants here who have been here for more than 15 years or something. And that's
Yeah.
like, dude, what the hell are you playing at? We've just stipulated that we wanted to leave to avoid this kind of bullshit with
Exactly,
immigrants, and
that's
you've
it,
now
yeah.
just tried to you're trying to legitimize that? Are you freaking serious?
I know, it's stupid. It's just like, if they shouldn't be here, they shouldn't be.
He tried to push for this shitty agenda when he was, just working in office in the Conservative Party,
Oh.
but it got passed over like twice or something. And now, because he thinks he's Prime Minister, he's going to get away with it. No. It doesn't work that way, mate.
I think, yeah, I just don't want it to happen.
I don't think anyone is.
No, it's just illegal. I just don't like it.
Oh my god, stop fucking locking on her then. Christ. It's really annoying me. Every time I try to move out of the way, it locks onto a different fucking target.
Yeah, games are
really
like that.
pisses me off.
Yeah, games are
I'm
like
just trying to
that.
fixate
Very
on the
janky.
damn target I'm looking at. Obviously, when I move the camera, I don't mean to move. I don't want to change targets. That's another thing that really annoys me with this game.
Yeah, I hate things like that. It's just like, lock on properly. But that's the awkward thing. It's just like, it's so hard to lock on to what you want. And it's just, it's a great lock-on system. It's a shame it's the wrong target. Like, it locks on properly to the thing you don't want it to lock on. If only it would work that well to what you're pointing it at.
Yeah.
It's fucking jank. It's just, it is a janky game.
It's you get what you pay for, really. I mean, I never paid more than £15 on this game.
This is the GOG version.
When it was released. I mean, yes, but
Yeah.
I didn't pay £15 for this version. I meant the retail version when I
Yeah, the
originally got it
retail.
for the GameCube. I think it was as well. It was a version of the GameCube, and I paid no more than £15, maybe 10.
Huh.
Really, and it wasn't like it was. God damn it! How old was I now when I paid for it? I think it was I 16, 17? 2004.
2004, I was 16.
I must have been 17 then. Yeah, I was like in college during then, so yeah, I would have paid for like no more than 10. So yeah, you kind of get what you pay for, really. I mean, it was kind of like the PlayStation 2's end of life cycle.
Yeah, PS3 come out in 2006.
So
PS2 was closing down.
yeah, so here we've got a gimmick where to progress we need to destroy this, the massive blockade thing, which is God knows why it's piled on like that.
That looks like a setup.
And as you can see, there's a glowing switch there that is attached to a mine. And
Yeah.
obviously we don't want to be the ones to explode that because it'll instantly kill us. So what we're going to do instead is, just in case I actually can't remember my last save. Okay. So what we want to do is grab
Go
someone.
around. Oh, you're gonna mind control them to do it.
Someone just chilling out with very
Shitty
god awful
music.
music.
That's the kind of stuff that they fucking play on the Enclave radio station, isn't it?
Mhm.
I love that animation, just swaying the arms. Like, who runs like that? Nobody.
Help me!
Help me, I'm gonna do something stupid.
They are the worst guards. How have they not gone, hold on lady, step away from the bomb?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
They did that with me in the other parts. Like, don't you dare push that switch or we'll attack you. At least they were serious
They-
about that.
That's natural selection. They deserve to die there. They didn't do anything about stopping that. That was entirely their own fault.
That's natural selection for AI algorithms, I guess. That's how it goes. It doesn't live. It doesn't age well. But
No, sometimes it doesn't, does it?
no. And with the coming term of if we were to leave Brexit, then what God knows what will happen with all the contractors that are sort of part and parcel with their transit systems. They'll probably have to pay additional costs in order for them to run. So they probably will just be like, no, we don't want to keep this on anymore, just botch it, whatever. And then England will have to turn to someone within its perimeters to keep the transit system running. They'll probably obviously pay less money, but they need to make sure it's government funded because it needs to happen.
I'm sure some of it will be worked out.
Yeah,
I mean,
it'll have to because, you know, the government's already like trying to save face with doing damage control and all of this, like turning England into its self-sufficient country again. Or at least that's what a lot of people hoped to have happen, and that's what we expected when they all voted to leave. What we're getting is completely the wrong sense of prioritization, and I never voted for Johnson anyway. No one did. You know, it wasn't our place to vote for who was to be the next Prime Minister. But you know, he's been known to be a pathological liar in his sense when he was mayor or something.
Really.
And as a conservative as well, he's like doing something that is completely against what the party is essentially not in favour of. Because you'll get a lot of conservatives, at least half of them, that don't intentionally want to keep a shit. Excuse me. How dare you?
You sort of come out of nowhere.
You really did.
How do you miss somebody who's wearing bright yellow fucking glowy armour?
Very simply, in this game, clearly. That's just me.
It's not like you can blend in anywhere. Literally a neon night.
Yeah. But again, it's like their priorities are a little bit shifted now, and I know a lot of people that don't approve of this whole immigration thing. And
I don't know. It's just It's all just fucking weird. It's just like you fucked no matter who's in power, whether you vote for them or not, whether the party votes for them. It doesn't matter. They all lie to you. Nothing you want nothing you want happens. It's just so fucking depressing.
I just don't understand why it never worked voting May out of office. Like, we were trying to vote for like Jeremy was kind of go for a vote of no confidence or something like that, and that apparently didn't win. And who had the idea? I mean, who was it down to voting for that? Was it just the MPs or Parliament, or was it for everyone who was in the country, like all the citizens and everything? Because this is what I don't get. Like, why is it down to them that they get to have all the decisions on who leads or not, and who gets to stay in? And they still voted to keep going.
We vote for the party, but they
by one vote.
But they sort of vote for the individual. It's a bit weird.
I don't understand.
That's the whole thing. You never, as a people, we never really truly get our say.
I know, and that's what we're sick of. We don't want them to be in power anymore. Not just them as party members, or you know, influencing or whatever. We just don't want a friggin' parliamentary government. We don't want it. That's pretty much what I vote for. To have them completely out. To have all parties out. I don't want a party system anymore.
You just want to be Prime Minister, don't you? I can tell.
Oh, I don't want to be Prime Minister. That's the point. I don't want it to be. I don't want there to be a fucking Prime Minister, mate.
Yeah.
Go back to friggin' roots. Go back to, you know, lords and ladies and shit like that. That like start making all the decisions. I don't care if it seems like we're undermining their position of power or whatever. Clearly, nothing else has worked, and we're more or less having problems of people running the country who are old farts because they can't keep up with what's the current problems of this today's good and age. All right, technology. They don't understand shit with technology, so they don't prioritize it as a means to, you know, performing it what it needs to be as its best recollection. And what I mean by that is, whenever there's laws being passed that are trying to limit people's say in what they can do over the internet, they don't understand what it is or how it's performing.
No, they don't.
You know how it's influencing people of proper. What we at 85% now. Yeah, they don't realise how much it's. I'm waffling so much now, but I'm trying to get my point as to be. They don't understand the impact of what the internet is and what it has. So, whenever there's something that like is a crime committed over online, they have to spend weeks on end to figure out what it is the crime is.
Yeah.
Because they don't exactly know how the freaking technology works. And that just does my head in so much.
It's
like they keep.
Whoever's in power is a cucking. Whether they're from the EU or from our own government, they're all knobs, all of them.
Yeah, and they
All
don't
of them.
understand that people will be voicing their opinions, and all they keep trying to do is limit it. They keep trying to what's it called, silence it, or you know,
Yeah, silence the dissident voices or whatever. No, dissentant. No, I can't get my fucking word out.
descendants.
No, not descendants. I've forgotten. The dissenting voices, that's it.
They will die.
Dissenting.
I
Yeah.
had a bit of a brain fart there. I mean, that's not fucking unusual, but
I mean, I'm totally getting triggered by this now, anyway. But it's. I don't know why.
yeah, it's yeah. They're all twats. Let's just leave it at that. They're all twats.
I mean, I'm more worried about how many of the frickin' MPs are actually siphoning off all of the assets of what people have been earning money for. You know, like they pocket some of the tax money, and
Yeah.
instead they don't. That tax money doesn't go to anything because they just sits in the friggin' bank. We've got the.
Square services are always just shit.
We've got now the threat apparently, which Johnson's trying to use to stipulate that whatever. Whatever deal the EU had with you know, May has now officially died, and like if they're
Thank
not going to
fuck
give
for
us
that, because her deal was just a fucking.
it wasn't her deal,
It
it was
was-
their deal that she
it
was
was their
trying to
deal.
enforce.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
I'm
it was
glad,
nothing,
I'm glad
had
we're not
nothing to do with us.
going with that, because that's basically surrendering to the fucking EU. That is basically that's giving them the white flag. So I'm kind of glad. If there's one thing I'm glad about, is that we're not going with her quote unquote deal.
We're really
Because
sorry,
that would make
guys.
us more within the EU than we fucking are now.
We're really sorry that this Let's Play is turning very political right
Yeah, it's
now.
gonna
It was
be
originally meant to be just
fancy.
transit, but then, hey, listen, this is how we have to address it. This is
talk
we're
about
talking about a
that,
transit system that we have to go through all of these problems. Ireland's not happy with us either. They have full rights to be, by the way, because they're just being shifted about what they don't even know what the hell's going on.
I'd rather just burn Ireland.
Hey.
Get rid of all the Irish.
I will move when I'm good and proper. All right.
I'm half Irish. I'm allowed to say that. Just cut myself in half. Fuck off.
What?
Nothing.
Right. This conversation went weird. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I wonder how Ireland thinks of it as why do you have to be divided? It's such a small country, and yet you are divided from the Republic of Ireland to the Northern Ireland. So what is this? What is going on with you guys? I mean, how would you feel? I probably would get nothing but absolute hate and backlash if I was to ever be stupid enough to ask an Irish person, how would you feel about just having your country just being one whole country instead of this
Yeah,
divided crap? And there'll
that's-
probably just be a massive can of worms
on
that I'll
both
just
sides,
open.
innit? On
And
both
they'll be like,
sides,
"Are you
you can get
effing
shit for
serious?
it."
This is wrong. You can't." I mean, I'll be like,
Yeah,
"Dude, I'm sorry. I really won't. I wasn't trying to
They
offend you.
hate
I just
they
generally
hate
don't
each
know."
Other, don't they? Though the North
They
and
do.
South, my dad absolutely hates the Northern Irish. He fucking hates them.
Again, I don't know why. As a
No,
Brit, I don't know
really
why.
get it.
I mean, I'm not supposed to know why. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm supposed to know. Maybe I should have known. But they don't teach you this stuff.
They never taught me in school. You just sort of got to look it up, but then you get confused and you be like, "Hang on a second, what?"
The thing is, they won't really, because it's a form of
No.
discrimination. It's a form of like, why do these countries hate each other? Because of like some rivalry that was going on, or you know, they never say this stuff.
No.
And it's like, God knows what they're teaching the kids now. Where the hell am I supposed to go? I've just stopped something, but I don't exactly know why I've done
Shut
it.
down the factory, but you haven't because you got the little carts running around it.
Have I got to go in this direction?
I don't know. I've never played this game before.
I think it's there. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
just follow the sound file. I think that's a good thing to do.
Alright.
On the world's most unsafe lift. Fucking hell.
Save it. God, a lot of lifts. A Lots of lifts. This
This
game
has
loves
a
its
lot of
lifts.
them, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Should put a
And-
bellhop on all of them. Some easy listening music.
Am I near the boss? I think I am. Oh no, I'm not. Hey boy. Oh, you're just on your own, aren't you? Good.
And lob him down the. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot
No.
him down the stairs.
No, because I guarantee you, he probably wouldn't have died from that. He probably would have still survived. And I just want to kill these
but
guys.
Let's see how
quick
far he'd
as
slide
possible.
down.
No, he wouldn't slide down. He would just
Wouldn't
stop
he?
in one of the. Yeah, trust me, I've
Oh
tried it
yeah,
before.
because it's down.
It's
No
the way it goes.
slidey. No slidey. And this is a puzzle. Oh god.
Yeah, but it's not a. It's not really a hard puzzle. It's just moving these stuff out of the way, and you can bet what you've got to do here. Just
Get the thing to stop there so it fills up with that stuff.
okay. It's not really burning me.
Is that meant to be hot?
Yeah,
It's meant. Yeah.
because the idea is you're meant to push this train
That's for the explosive.
towards it. Yeah, but I can't. Don't know. I don't remember if it's going to go forward or backwards. And
Was there no one way to find out?
oh, like there you go. So it's got a little bit of a tram, a steampunk tram. That's a mine. That a mine's attached to it. And why this is a function? Why is this a mechanic?
Oh, do you
that
know
they thought
what?
would make sense?
Do you know what's? Do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny about this whole steampunk aesthetic? There's a lot of concept designs from the Victorian era that never got made because, well, quite frankly, it's impractical, and a lot of it looks like a lot of fictional steampunk
Oh damn!
media, and it looks fucking hilarious.
Steampunk media.
Yeah, because you know, like steampunk, they'll have like say. They'll take a car and they'll say, look, this is a car in a steampunk design. Well, they probably would have actually designed that in the Victorian era, but would never have been able to have built it. It's just funny to me when you think about that. Because, what's the name of that? It was a motorbike that had a really cool design. Let's see if I can try and find it.
Try and kill this guy before the guard comes any closer. There we go. Whoop. Wrong button.
Prepare to die. Yeah!
No, you don't. Boom. Well, you got one of your wishes anyway. I can't remember why we got onto that steampunk conversation.
Well, because we're in a factory and that little train thing looked quite funny.
Yeah. But again, the design of it, of the puzzles, and is so impractical. Like, again, it's a wonder why you needed to incorporate it at all. Because
Yeah,
at this
you
point,
can't
you may as well
really-
just stop trying to be clever with your puzzles and just make it as a story-focused game now. Because the puzzles are so stupid. They're just
Yeah, they're not
time-consuming.
Yeah, they look clunky. I don't like it.
I mean, God knows who owns the IP to this game now. I actually don't know.
I'm not gonna know.
Neither do I. I mean, because I know Square Enix owns the Tomb Raider series. And this, you know, and this was made by the same developer of Tomb Raider. But God knows why they've done it, a gameplay in this sort of fashion. Really. And they're so obsessed with puzzles, it's just, why?
Skype's gonna make a noise if I send you a message, isn't it?
I don't think it matters. I'm not going to be able to read it.
No, you won't, will you? I'll Discord
Ooh.
it, yeah.
Can't destroy it, I'm afraid. It's a different. Is this a different song? Is that, what's that called now? A phonograph, or is it a vinyl player? What are
It's
those
a
actual-
gramophone.
A gramophone, yeah.
Yeah, basically record players with a horn.
Alright, so this is actually where the boss is. I'm gonna save it here. And I will be right back. Let's do this. Back to the boss. Back to the game to do the boss.
Behold the great Cain, now a common thief.
The fiend that dogged my shadow showed himself at last, and in the light, I knew him. Another visage from my past. Sebastian, it is you who have been following me.
And how long it took you to discover it. My master sent me to prevent your meddling further. And now you must die.
Your master knows his days are numbered. I might have spared your life by asking that you join me, but I learned that lesson 200 years ago. You arranged the ambush that destroyed my army. You sold yourself to our enemy.
I dealt the blow that cost you the war. Glorious, was it not? So many killed so quickly, and all my doing.
I never learned why.
Did you think I would serve while you ruled Nosgoth? You and not I? The Seraphim Lord knows how to value me. I am to rule by his side and achieve what you never could.
You fool! Do you think that butcher will permit you to live one moment longer than he has need of you? I will save you from your disappointment, Sebastian, and kill you now.
I have waited 200 years for the pleasure of killing you with my own hands. While you have been sleeping, my powers have been increasing. You haven't the smallest chance of defeating me.
So that's why he lost the war. He was betrayed.
Crap.
That's funny though. He sold out all the other vampires just for that petty reason that he wanted to rule.
Well, even
what a
even in the story-wise, this game just doesn't make sense.
I
He
mean,
betrayed the camp he was in. Basically,
he betrayed his own race of fucking beings just because he's jealous that Cain was the ruler instead of him. So he intentionally threw that side of the fucking war. Yeah, what a dick. And I think Cain's right. That fucking Seraphim Lord leader won't let him live longer than he needs to.
yeah. So it makes no sense why he would betray one master for another.
Yeah,
He basically said so himself. Yeah. He's the Seraphim friggin' Lord. Do you think you're ruling now?
Exactly. It's
Damn
a placebo. It's a false sense of power.
Right. So this. Whoa! Shit. Yeah. So the object of this part of the fight is he's going to run around like an idiot. Just going.
Yeah, like, he's just fucking whizzing
And
around. Matrix running around the wall.
the way he does it is if he basically runs around until he stops at a point on. Yeah.
It's
up
like
here.
the wall of death when they're riding the motorbikes around.
And whenever he tries to jump at you, you got to make sure you're standing behind this.
Here I come, Cain!
Yeah, so whenever he tries to jump at you, just make sure you stand in front of the
Just so he
thing
jumps
where he
through
jumps.
that.
Because he'll automatically hit you, regardless of where he is. But if he hits the center point first, he'll obviously take
Yeah, he'll
damage.
get
And
that. Yeah.
it's a weird thing, a weird system. I don't know.
Surely he's not fit for power because he's stupid enough to do that.
Well, if he's not trustworthy for the starter point.
Yeah.
You know, he's betrayed his main. He betrayed Cain, his leader, his previous leader. Shit.
Funny thing is though, he's not very intelligent if he's going to try and jump towards somebody, and there's I guess that's an electrical field in the way. I mean,
Yeah, something.
come on.
Raise the dais!
Alright. Raise the dais.
Phase 3 of
Destroy this precious jewel.
Yeah, destroy that. Right, now the bit of a weird part of the fight. He's gonna stay off this podium here, He's just going to continue to walk around. You can't do anything. If you try to jump down, he'll jump back up here, and it'll just be a weird, stupid cycle. What instead you need to do is take command of this guy, which...
And then you shut the thing off, and then, yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if you need to start the steam. Yeah, so he'll jump back on...
No one fools me with my own trick.
Yeah, he'll jump back on the podium, and then you try and finish him off.
Sound effect. It's like he's hitting a wooden post.
No, it can't be.
Yeah, and just throw him off. He'll take damage.
No, it can't be.
Yeah.
He's only got one hit left anyway, so...
Yeah. So it's not the hardest boss fight in the world.
No, it's just got so many forms on it that it doesn't really need to have happen.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm low myself, so I'd rather not die to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Can't chance it too much.
Oh, I didn't know he had an unblockable attack. Oh crap!
Oh.
Oh wait, get here.
It's always when they've got like one hit point left that they're like the hardest to fucking kill.
Die! Whew. Needed to make sure of that. Alright, let's watch a terrible cutscene.
Oh no, it burns.
Tell me of the Nexus stone and this portal. What is its purpose here? Speak, and I will spare your life.
Come, Cain. You lie in your throat and we both know it. You are going to kill me.
Indulge me then, before you die.
I'll tell you so that I may see your face when you learn. You are powerless. You cannot win. Your death is inevitable. The Nexus Stone's portal leads to an ancient device, deep underground, that will spell your destruction, Cain. A new reign will begin in Nosgoth.
What is the purpose of this device? How will it serve the Sarafan Lord?
Alas, he has not entrusted me with that knowledge. But soon everyone will know it. His plans are even now coming into fruition.
Where is the device? Where under the earth?
It lies beneath Meridian. Seek for it if you will. I die happy in the knowledge that all your efforts will be wasted.
Oh, Sebastian. Our destiny could have been glorious. The land was ours for the taking. History would have been rewritten in our image. But not everyone shared my vision. And now your time is up. Your death will only make me stronger. I hope that knowledge comforts you in your grave.
You know, it's an interesting way of saying it, and I love that response from Cain. I really do. It's like, yeah, you can die happy knowing that you think I'm powerless, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's made me stronger.
Yeah.
I mean, there were several things that I wanted to say about the first conversation they had. Like, for one, where he said that he stepped out of the shadows, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. The first time you saw him around the city, you kind of knew... I mean, he looked pretty clear enough for me to recognize him. I mean, you had conversations with him, for God's sake. But, you know, whatever. I guess this place has better lighting.
He's a vampire, he's trying to be cool.
The Sarafan didn't entrust Sebastian with certain information that Cain wanted to know, so that already gives off a red flag to state that
he
the
hasn't got the
Sarafan
power
doesn't care
he wants
to give you any more power than you have.
Exactly. It's delusional, that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. And yet, it really wasn't worth. Yeah, it stopped his throwing animation or something.
Oh, he's like got stuck to that wall and plunk.
That's happened on every version of this game. It's
Yeah, they can't really help that. So rigid.
I'm hoping that this won't crash, bug out now, but can't really foresee in any sort of future.
Don't really do anything about it.
It's a long cutscene though. We're not finished at the part. Ah, right.
You are welcome back. How do you feel?
A little better than dead. How did I come here?
You are fortunate. One of our vampires saw you thrown from the roof of the factory as it was destroyed. He carried you here. The Seraphan were too occupied to notice you. Ah, I see that you have the Nexus stone.
And I see that you were courteous enough not to relieve me of it while I lay unconscious. I met another old friend, a vampire, guarding it. Before I killed him, he told me something unsettling. He spoke of an ancient device underground that will bring about victory for the Sarafan Lord. What do you know of this, Farador?
I have heard tell of strange discoveries deep underground. Ancient legends speak of huge machines deep in the earth, left by the gods in eons past. And I know of one who can tell us the truth of this matter. She is a seer, a being said to be older even than I. We are fortunate in that she owes me a favor. Go to her, Kate, and learn what she knows.
Go to her? This city is a walled fortress. How do you propose I get out?
There is a secret way out of the city. I will show it to you. You may follow a canyon that leads north to her abode. The way will not be easy. Strange beasts roam outside the city, preying on travelers. The people call them demons.
I believe I've met one of these already. I hope your seer's knowledge is worth the risk.
That's a weird transition. Oh, thank God. I'm just going to quickly save it, because there's still more to be said, but I wanted to make sure the game won't crash on me, because it likes to do that at the end parts.
It does.
Got another new outfit. Alright, so we are definitely looking, I don't know, assassiny, I guess, or something like that. You look pretty cool. I like it. So we're now at the canyons now. We've also learned another new ability, the Berserk. Similar to the Fury, except the Berserk is sort of like a cluster of attacks. But only the end attack, I think, results in actually doing damage. I'll show you what I mean.
Name and business.
Watch this. I thunder every week I depart by this gate.
Name and business.
Puro, bringing supplies to the garrison beyond the abode of the witch. Here is my toll.
The bridge has fallen.
Again? And they've not repaired it?
There's more important matters afoot. A company's being sent out.
The smugglers are to be destroyed at last?
Smugglers? There's worse than that infesting the roads. But now the culprits will be dealt with.
At long last. Why pay such high tolls if they won't keep the roads open, that's what I say.
Hold your tongue! You may not keep it long. Open the gates there!
Yeah, it's just giving us a tutorial on how to activate it. We know what we're doing. But I think we're going to leave it here, guys. Thanks for watching, and in the next part we're going to go through the canyon area, which is probably one of the most hostile areas of this game. It's got lots of different style of enemies, and as they said, there is a lot more worse things than I don't know, the bandits and thieves and all this jazz. So we'll see what we're going to come up with in the next part, but we're pretty much just probably going to leave off as we end this part anyway and straight into the new part. So thanks again for watching, and as always, see you soon.
Alright, bye.